Good evening, everyone. I'm Kurt Sprang. Tonight, caskets are scattered along the Highway 39 levee on the east bank of Plaquemines Parish. WGNO News anchor Sheldon Fox is in Braithwaite with the story. Sheldon.
Kurt, we're at the Promised Land Cemetery. It's one of two that took on serious damage. You can see that caskets were tossed around here like toys, and unfortunately, they left this area as well. Driving along the levee in Braithwaite means you're driving among the dead. You'll find a lot of things after a storm comes and goes, and this storm's been no different. It's still affecting people, obviously, here in Plaquemines Parish, and it's also affecting the dead. We're standing between two cemeteries, and so far today, we've seen at least 24 caskets. How'd your house make out, Carrie?
Gone.
But Carrie Francis says her deceased brother is also lost. And you're sure that his tomb is missing?
It's missing. Because it's not at the cemetery, so it has to be up here somewhere. Their tombs are gone.
Janice Washington says the tombs of her grandparents, aunts, uncles, and grandson are missing. She and her sister are happy not to have been affected physically by Isaac's floods.
These families in Plaquemines Parish in this area has a great church family. They have families who love each other.
From time to time, you bring flowers and you visit the grave.
But that's not possible anymore for many in Braithwaite. And so dozens of tombs like this can be found along the levee and on the road and in front of people's houses and up against trees in Braithwaite today. Very sad stuff all the way around. Plaquemines Parish President Billy Nungesser telling us tonight that they're working on getting a FEMA contract to scoop all of these caskets up off of the levee, off of the roadway, and out of neighborhoods and try to get them back in their proper place. You can imagine what a problem that would be when you're identifying these names and finding respective families. We're live in Braithwaite tonight. Sheldon Fox, WGNO News. Kurt?
What a story. Thank you, Sheldon. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kurt Sprang. Deputies with the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office are under investigation by New Orleans police. The case stems from two men who say they were beaten and tased by JP deputies, and they say they have the video to prove it. WGNO News anchor Sheldon Fox is live at JPSO headquarters with the exclusive interview. Sheldon.
Kurt, both the NOPD and the JPSO acknowledged tonight there's an investigation underway, and we'll tell you the rest of what they said in just a few. But for now, watch the story behind it.
Casey, just chill out, Casey.
This Monday morning incident in Algiers is the reason the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office is under investigation tonight. Casey Warren says he was tased, dragged, punched and tased again before being stuffed into a JPSO cruiser at 2400 Hudson Place.
I had them on camera when they was over your front door.
Keep on doing it.
Once in the cruiser, this cell phone video appears to show him being tased again. Here's how he says it all started. While driving on the Crescent City Connection from New Orleans, an unmarked car followed him closely. He stopped his car on the bridge, hoping to shake the tailgater. That's when a man in street clothes emerged from the pursuing car, holding a gun and demanding Warren get out of his vehicle. Warren asked the man who he was, and the man said he was a detective with JPSO.
No badge, no lights on the car, no anything.
Warren told him they were in Orleans jurisdiction and sped off to the Hudson Place address. 5 minutes later, Warren says 6 deputies showed up, including the man from the bridge. Uniformed JPSO deputies knocked on his door, ordered him to the ground, and between his front door and the squad car,
tased me again, punching me in my ribs. I have my cell phone, and I'm starting to videotape what's going on.
Casey Warren's brother, Sean Warren, was called to the scene by his fiancée, who was inside the home during the skirmish. He says deputies went for his phone when they saw they were being recorded.
As they get the phone out my hand, they punched me in my mouth. One of the officers shouts out, "Tase him, tase him." I said, "For what? I'm not resisting."
Some 48 hours after the incident, you could still find string and a needle from a taser that was deployed out here, and the Warren brothers tell me this belongs to the JPSO.
I dialed 911 on the police.
Chantrell Netter's 911 call prompted New Orleans police to arrive. That's when the injured brothers were told they wouldn't be arrested. The Warrens say New Orleans officers instructed JPSO deputies to find the missing phone used to record the incident. It was recovered smashed, they said. They also say JPSO deputies initially threw out taser cartridges. Today, NOPD crime scene investigators visited the same block, collecting evidence. 3 days after an ugly morning. And so we reached out to the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office and the NOPD tonight. We'll start with Colonel John Fortunato of JPSO in regards to our questions via email. He says the matter you speak of is under investigation, and we are not at liberty to discuss the details of the incident at this time. Therefore, there will be no need to ask any follow-up questions, end quote. Here's what NOPD spokesperson Remy Braden said about the matter. Quote, we can also say that this is an ongoing investigation. We cannot confirm any details of the incident at this time. And as we come back out live, it's important to mention Casey Warren was arrested hours later by an NOPD cop serving a warrant from JPSO for reckless operation of a vehicle and flight from an officer. We're live tonight at the main cop shop at JPSO on the West Bank. Sheldon Fox, WGNO News. Kurt?
We'll all be waiting to hear more on this one. Thank you, Sheldon.
Crews are working to restore hurricane-damaged Fisher Middle High School in Lafitte, which is slated to get federal help. But not everything on campus appears damaged.
Ain't nothing wrong with them. Let me feel that. Feel that. That's all dry. That's brand spanking new. They just feel like they brought these yesterday. And now they throwing it away.
Good books. All of them good books.
I'm guessing the government is about to give them all new books for school or something, so we're throwing it all away.
We were told that books were being thrown out for no good reason. We came and it's exactly what we saw. Principal George Hebert initially told us all of his school's books were ruined. Someone told you that they were moist and not able to be saved, right?
Correct.
That dumpster is filled with books like this. This is in a box, brand new. Couldn't these be given away or sold? We found hundreds of books like this. We showed FEMA Administrator Craig Fugate one of several books we took from the dumpster. An unopened dictionary still wrapped in plastic.
I haven't been there, but that's part of the reason why we go out with the state and look at what's eligible.
The Jefferson Parish School Board tells us FEMA assistance is expected at Fisher Middle, which was littered with textbooks headed straight for the dumpster.
These will get molded.
Sure, there are some that are moldy and old, but many of them are not. Principal Hebert said the recovery company contracted to clean up the damaged school recommended dumping all of the books. But this is what cleanup workers told us.
Brand new, no mildew, no stain, no water stain, no nut.
The school board hasn't yet responded to our repeated requests for an interview, but its spokesperson, Monica Pierre, said she was emailing us disaster declaration paperwork, which so far hasn't been received.
All of our school efforts right now are getting the school back up in operation. We're hoping to open the school on September the 10th.
Right.
For the children of the community.
Don't you think, though, that when you see hundreds of brand new looking books thrown in the dumpster that it constitutes a big waste?
I'm not a mold expert. I have no idea.
And so Principal Hebert says that these books are made of porous material which can mold if left in moist surroundings. The school did take on water, but here are some books we collected. Here's a box that was sealed and wrapped, 8 in total, Spanish books, untouched, sealed up. Kurt?
What a story. Thank you, Sheldon. And the evacuation covers people north and south of the facility along the levee. It doesn't affect river traffic or anyone on the West Bank. Also, Highway 39 in Plaquemines Parish remains closed. And not only is the situation dangerous for people, it's dangerous for animals as well in Plaquemines. WGNO News anchor Sheldon Fox spent the day on the West Bank of the parish, where dry ground doesn't necessarily mean a safe spot. And we want to warn you, some of these images are graphic.
This group of Hurricane Isaac victims apparently can't be taken to a shelter. On the East Bank, they have it even worse. The cows on the West Bank are dry, but not in good shape.
These have just been left stranded back here, and I mean, listen to them. They're in pain.
It's one of the many problems in Plaquemines today, what to do with all the cattle. These cows are dying by the day, and it's got cattle owners and animal rescuers scrambling. The plan is to trap these animals tonight, their owner says. He was too busy trying to salvage the rest of his herd to give us an interview. He says he's down to between 40 to 50 cows. About 200 others didn't make it.
Saturday at 6, there was no dead cows in that area.
Today we saw at least 3. And for Alyssa Johnson, an independent animal rescuer, that's at least 3 too many. She spent her weekend alerting cops and farmers about what she says are inhumane post-storm conditions for stray animals across storm-battered Plaquemines. She alerted cops Saturday to one of these cows dying in Isaac's muck.
We asked the police to shoot the cow to end its suffering, and we were told that we needed to let Mother Nature take its course. Very painful to watch on how they drag a cow out of the mud.
Today we watched one gasping for air when we got to this dirt road off Highway 23. But before we left, the breathing appeared to stop. Johnson's calling for state rescuers to move faster through Plaquemines before others end up dead.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kurt Sprang. In Plaquemines Parish, some people say Hurricane Isaac is their Katrina. Deciding to rebuild or leave, battling insurance, and worrying about possible pollution. WGNO News anchor Sheldon Fox spent the day with one family in a difficult spot.
This is where we used to eat breakfast. That table, we ain't moved it. That's a grandkids' table.
Larry Bartron hopes to one day have his grandkids over for breakfast again, but for now, it's a sludgy struggle through his hurricane-torn home in Braithwaite Park.
It ain't coming easy.
A place that took on 17 feet of water and had just about every home on this block flooded or worse.
All my pictures were up here in this closet.
Kim Bartron is worried about lost stuff, but a nervous wreck over the health of her husband Larry, who visited the doctor today for chest pains and was tested for toxins the couple says come from the nearby Stolthaven chemical storage terminal. Here's what else she says plagues people in Braithwaite and elsewhere on the east bank of Plaquemines Parish.
What was our exposure? The health risks, right. Are they going to build federal levees? How long is that going to take? How much grief are the insurance companies going to give us over like this content list? I have pages and pages of contents, and I'm have to rub mud off of things to look for serial numbers.
There are some who are asking, why do people in Braithwaite and other areas like them that aren't in that levee protection zone, why do they bother coming back?
Well, right now that's a good question. You just got to deal with what comes your way and you know, make the best of it. Got my wife right here, you know, we're together, so we got the Lord and we don't need nothing else, just time to rebuild again, you know.
The Bartrons lost their home in St. Bernard Parish in Hurricane Katrina. They feel new post-Katrina levees protecting their old parish adversely impacted Plaquemines. We're live in the newsroom. Sheldon Fox, WGNO News. Kurt?
All right, thank you, Sheldon.